Hey everybody, this is Cassandra, and today we're going to look at a game-based learning platform called Quizizz. So for those of you who have not used or seen this before, Quizizz is similar to Kahoot. It's kind of building your own quizzes, questions, and making it into a bit of a competition for students as they're answering these questions. There are a couple of key differences and a few neat features that are pretty great, so I'd like to share these with you. First of all, how to create a new quiz. You can see there's a button up here and also on the side. Once you've logged in, you'll see this menu. You can create a new quiz and have a quiz name. I am a science teacher, so I'm gonna do one on atomic theory. You can also categorize your quizzes into different subject areas, which will be useful for searching up later. Nice. So you'll see that there's two options, create a new question or teleport. So I'll first use create a new question. Let's say my question is, what does the Greek word atomos mean? Some of you chemists might know this. So I'll write out a few possible answers. Here, and here. Let's use this one. All right, and what's really neat is you can actually see how the question and answers are going to look on a device. So this is what your students are going to see. You can also see that you can add an image or audio. Also, for those of you teaching math, you can add math equations as well. Pretty great. You'll notice you can also choose to have a correct answer or not, and that will change the color scheme. You'll need to choose which one is the correct answer. So this is the correct answer. And you can also set a timer. So I'm going to set this 30 seconds. So if you wanted to make this into something where students should be discussing with each other, you can make this into a much longer time, like 5 minutes, even up to 15 minutes. So I'm pretty versatile. I'm going to save this question. And now, one of the best parts is the teleport feature. So on Quizizz, lots of teachers upload their own questions, their assignments, their own quizzes up here, and you can actually see by searching. For example, in my case, I'm looking at atomic theory. That's what my quiz is about. I can see all the other quizzes that teachers have made or other users have made about atomic theory, and I can see these questions and actually add them to my own quiz. So for example, let's say James Chadwick discovered the neutron. I want my students to know this, so I'm going to add that. I'm going to look at atomic theory and structure. What has a positive charge inside the nucleus? Sure, I'll add this. And this is just a great way to save time, because a lot of times we end up using some similar questions, especially for learning certain topics, and this is such a great time saver for our purposes. So I have 4 questions. Let's add one more. Sure. Okay, so right now I have 5 questions. I can also choose to add a quiz image. I can use an image link or upload something from my own file. So I'm going to go to my desktop. I have a little picture of an atom here, and I can choose which grades this is for. So I'll say this is for grade 10 to grade 12 chemistry. Why not? So after saving this, this is great. You can also make this into public or private. So public means that other people can see your quiz, they can duplicate it, share it, manipulate it. Private means it's only visible to you, so maybe it's something that you only want to share with your students. It's possible that there are student names in there or slightly more personal information that you don't want everyone else to see, so you can choose to make this private, English, and everything else. Another couple features here, you can import questions from a spreadsheet, and also if you are in the United States of America, you can choose to look for Common Core state standards, and also what were state standards in different states, and tag this to your questions or to your quiz, and then you can search for certain quizzes that have specific standards you're looking for. So this is really great if you're in the USA. So I'm going to finish my quiz, and here you can choose to share it with another teacher if you'd like. Skip that for now. And here is my quiz. I have 5 questions. It's been done 0 times, and I can choose 3 options right now. I have a live game, homework, or practice. So live game is something that you would do right away in class. So you can click on it and you should be able to see hosting a game. You can choose to put students into teams where they're able to still answer the questions on their own, but their scores are grouped by different teams. Classic is they go at their own pace, complete everything individually, have fun along the way, and test is where they need to log in and then do a test on their devices. You can also choose to assign this to a class. So for example, I want to put this with my Science 10 class. You can create classes on the side over here. It's a new feature, so that's something you might want to look into. Another great time saver here for marking and checking homework is if you assign one of these as homework. So you can actually choose to host a game and have it complete by a certain due date. So maybe you want it done by the next day, 3 p.m., or you want it done in 3 days from now. So you can choose a set date, you can assign it to your students. Once they've logged into their account, they'll see their homework and they can play the game. You can also put the link of your game onto a class website you have. That also works. This also works with Google Classroom as well. So lots of really neat features. And last one here is just practice. So they don't actually mark it, give you, or they do mark it, but they don't record it in the long run. They just use it as a way to kind of play, practice, review. You can also share a practice link with students. They can play on their own and as often as they like. They don't expire, and the reports are not sent to teachers. So really this is just more for students to play around with, and you don't need to keep checking up on this. It's more of a intrinsic motivation for them to play on this. So we can actually try playing, and I'll show you how it looks. Alright, so you can see there's actually a flashcards for review that you could use, and timer. They also have a read aloud option that can read the questions. This is really great for inclusivity. Memes, power-ups. So let's play around. Alright, so James Chadwick discovered the neutron. You can see your streaks. It has a lot of features that other games have and social media has. So for example, you get a power-up just like any other game that you might play. So for example, I can try to use my power-up, make half the incorrect options disappear, activate, and check it out. It means I can just choose one of these 2 options. They have also funny memes that you can use and add. You can create custom memes as well if you'd like. So if I decide, for example, I don't know the answer to this question, I get it wrong. Oh. They have a meme to show that you'd show for incorrect answers. Science fiction, J.J. Thompson. And you'll notice that you're actually on an overall leader scoreboard for the day. So students actually can compete with each other throughout the day and look at who's on the leader scoreboard on Quizizz and kind of compete with each other outside of the classroom in that manner. So the electrons. And you get redemption questions. This is really fun. It basically means that you're allowed to try answering a question that you got wrong before. And this is a great way to show students that it's okay to make mistakes as long as they learn from it. It's found inside the nucleus. So, proton. Awesome. And then you can see your score, performance stats, what you got correct, average time, and this is something that you can not see since this is a practice round, but if you'd like to look at your students' scores and for a particular quiz by looking at reports. That's right. So you can look at reports. And your students will be listed here, and you can look at their accuracy, what their score was. If you click, you can actually see which question they got wrong. So this is a great way for teachers just to keep track very easily of how their students are doing in their class. So this was a quick overview of Quizizz. There's a lot more you can explore by searching up more quizzes or reports, looking at classes, making memes. I would highly recommend this to any teacher wanting to add a little bit of technology and engagement and fun in their classroom. All right, thank you. Have a great day. Bye.